Hello, let's do Starstruck for January 22nd. We'll do the easy and hard. The easy is called P Pentominoes. In case you haven't seen this game before, in every single row, column, and colored region, we need to place exactly one star. And stars can't touch, not even diagonally. So we can't have a star here and here, for example. All right, so this region just has only one place. So that star is a gimme. Now there's only one place left in blue to place a star, so we're going to place it there. There's two left in gray that are next to each other, so that removes from the rest of the row and from these two that touch it, leaving just this one. I should have noticed right at the start, I think I did and I forgot to mention it, is the top row is definitely giving a star to this dark blue. So we can take the time to just X out the rest of blue. Brown's taking these two. Oh, yellow has only one place left. Orange has one place left. Green, gray, and then blue. Probably didn't even have to notice that blue thing. Where am I missing a star? Brown. Okay, sorry, I thought I was done. All right. Another plonker. Someone asked what plonker means. You know, when you plonk something, you sort of put it down, like just plonk the stars until you're done. Like there's really not a whole lot of thought involved in that one. Once you know your basic formations. All right, the hard. It's called bow tie. Oof. Okay, so we have this kind of thing that happens a lot where it's not every puzzle, but a lot of them for whatever reason. This orange, dark orange region uses all of the right column and all of the bottom column. And so we have to put a star in the corner. Otherwise, we won't have a star in either that row or that column because we can't put two in the same region. Okay, so where do we go from here? This touches olive green. Now this touches what remains in brown. Well, this sees what remains in brown, and so does this through the row we're touching. This touches all of yellow, so does this. This sees all of yellow. This sees all of red, as does that. This is down to two left, so we can X out all of those. This sees all of yellow as well. All right, orange is in an interesting situation here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't think this can be orange. So if we look at, no, sorry, this can skip up here. Darn, I misread that. I was thinking these three rows had to be used by blue, green, and brown, but actually we could put one in this orange and then have a blue up here. So maybe not. Okay, so what are we looking at then? Oh, actually, we can't put a blue here. This is what the hint would call a look ahead, but if you can look ahead in your head, I don't think it's that bad. Because a star here I saw forces this star, right? It just touches those two, so it forces that star. Oh, and what I saw in my head might not be right then, because I saw that this star takes out of here and this takes out of here. I thought it took out of all of red, but actually it works. And we know that that star forces this star. Okay, that might actually be the solution. So let's see if we can figure out what's going on here. If you are willing, like if you see something like that, there's nothing wrong with just finishing the puzzle and just like plonking those and getting the puzzle done. But I personally like I like to challenge myself to find make sure every step is completely logical and not just like do crazy look aheads like that. But there's nothing wrong with it. Like I could be done with the puzzle right now. And sometimes on my own, I will do that if I'm lacking time. Uh, okay, so sorry, there's something relatively simple here, which is that the rest of red and the rest of yellow are only in these two columns. So the rest of those columns can't be stars. And now blue is definitely using this left column, so the rest of that's not. Okay. Is there something going on with gray here that I can... Not really. Brown is up to 3, green. What can I say here? These bottom 4 rows? This might be interesting. Let's section that off just to make sure we're looking at the right things here. So we definitely have red and gray. Sorry, red and dark blue and gray are definitely in these top 4, but we still need one more star. And so what we've learned is that there must be a star in one of these two because we don't have enough regions otherwise. Oh, sorry, or an orange. No, sorry, I'm let me mark this out. We have definitely have one in this red, definitely have one in this dark blue, and definitely have one somewhere in this gray. So the remaining star is either this orange or one of these two. Ooh. So one thing that I see about that is if this orange or one of these two, you think about what they have in common. Since we've limited a star to one of these three cells, if this is a star, then this is also a star. So we either have a star here and a star here, or we have a star in one of these two. Whatever happens, that means these three at the bottom are never going to be stars. So we can kind of do that. And now, yeah, now this bottom row is down to these three. Can I say more about that? I know if it's one of these two, it takes out of here. So there's kind of two options for how this resolves. Oh, but this top row, okay, sorry. This top row is only gray, which I should have seen earlier, so those can't be in. Ah, there's got to be more that I'm just kind of missing. In this row, the star is in three places. If it's here or here, it definitely takes out of that. If it's here. Okay, so what I've learned, I believe there has to be a star here or here. One of those two. Obviously, it can't be in both. Because if the star is here, let me just keep using pen. If the star is here or here, that takes out of this one, and that places a star there. Otherwise, the star here is going to look down. It's going to place a star right there. So one of these two will always be a star. And what I noticed is that these have a common, they both see this one. So that can't be a star. Kind of whittling away, but let's see if there's like more to this. One of these is always in. Oh, and so this sees them both as well, because this shares a region with it, and this is in the same row. And now this is down to two places. That takes out of these two. Oh, and now we need one in here or here. That still doesn't seem to do it for me. Doesn't seem to finish it. Whoop, 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 undo. Actually, there is something I can say about those two. So remember it's actually just these three rows now. We can just look at these three rows. And we can see that dark blue and red definitely give a star to these three. So the last one's either in this orange or this blue. So if we look at this orange and this blue, what do they see in common? Well, if we stood one step ahead here, where this orange forces one to be in one of these two, then now we can see that this blue can't be in, because either this blue is true or this orange is true, which makes one of these two greens true, which takes out of this blue. So now, as a result, that's actually big, because now there has to be a star in one of these three for the row, meaning these two aren't in. Okay. There's got to be more going on here. This row's down to one of these two, which kind of determines one of these two as well. Okay, so this row has these two left, this row has these two left, which means that we're either going to be here and here, or we're going to be here and here. So we're either the dots or the X's. So that means a dot or one of these dots or X's is true. Exactly one of these is true, and exactly one of these is true. If exactly one of these is true, this can't be in, because it touches that one and it's in the same region as that one. Also, it's the same column. So now in this row, brown's one of these two, so this can't be in. Whittling away, but I don't know. This kind of thing's kind of fun. There might be something a little simpler to see, but we'll see. In the comments, I guess. I'm having fun though. I hope you are. So we know one of these two is in. We know one of these two is in. Oh, does that do anything for me? This doesn't do much. Just eliminates from here. This eliminates from here. I don't know. One of these three is in. One of these two is in. Okay. This one or this one. I don't know that there's a shared effect there that isn't already applied. Oh, no. It would be this guy and this guy. Those are already X'd out. This takes out of these two. It puts a, it does, okay. It does put one here. So we either have the X or the dot. The X puts one here. Okay, so there is a shared one here. So we either in this dot or this X, which does take out of here. Again, whittling away. X forces that X, which actually forces this X here. Right, either that dot's true or that X is true. So that lines up. Oh, if that dot's true or that X is true, this is never true. Right, because one of these oranges is true. So if that orange is true, definitely not there. If that orange is true, it forces that brown, and then now the combination of these two forces the green to be there. So that's never in. This is down to two places now. That does that affect this column? One of these two? I'm not sure. Hmm. One of these two. All right, let's clear this out. There might be more to see, but one of these two. How are we finishing this? It feels like we have so few cells left. There should just be like a simple deduction here, but I'm not seeing it yet. We know one of these two is. Oh, so I had said way earlier that one of these two is in, and I completely missed that it takes out of this one as well by touch and by column. So where it's in one of these two, which takes out of there, and that gives us this star, which is, I knew this was the solution like 10 minutes ago or whatever, but finally actually found a logical way through. All right, there we go. Plonk the rest. Wow, that didn't feel like 11 minutes. I was having fun. How'd you do?